Hey, we're going to go explore the sewers, I guess.
Uh-oh. That was my best attempt at the voice. Sorry, guys. Well, do we have a new battle track here?
I think this might actually be one that we've heard before. So remember what I was saying about opening your eyes?
Oh. I just picked up on it. Admittedly, there's a lot of new details to take in here, like Samurai Poo Guy, and the fact that, yeah, the uh-oh aesthetic is fairly apparent given that they're now green and red pipes as well as the purple ones.
Oh, yeah. So many pipes. Unsurprisingly, the poos are high priority enemies because they poo on you. And, I think, yeah, Alex just gets sick from one, which is like poison in this setting. That's pretty bad when all the HP values are this low.
I also see it definitely as a case of you tried to use time energy and got wrecked because, again, it slowed the cursor down slightly too much and you weren't able to...
Yes, it did. This is Rory's basic attack. Rory doesn't fight with weapons, he fights with pacifism, which allows him to guard other characters.
I remember there being a credit for a conscientious objector in this game.
Yep, and that's Rory.
All right. Not a bad idea. Again, we're still at that 20% mark. We'll see what comes of it.
I think the idea is that this is something like what Darkest Dungeon does with their tanks, where you can have a guard tank. But he's probably more like the Man-at-Arms and a dodge tank like the Houndmaster. That's probably what the HP PP swap thing is for. You get low on HP, and then you can recharge all your HP by swapping in your PP, because frankly, he doesn't have any other good PP skills.
I suppose then the alternative is that you just straight up use Panda Barrier and not take damage for a turn. That's also a winning strategy. Also, he's still up, it looks like, so yeah.
Yeah, no, this is one of the things where it bugged out. Unfortunately, because Panda is doing Rory's job, Rory doesn't have anything to do, so I'm kind of looking for something else to do. He can apparently lower Samurai Tortoise's luck, but I don't know if I want to do that, so I'll open my eyes to the signs of the times.
It is what it is.
Dude! Vela, why are you so angry?
Because look at who she's got for company.
I guess that's true. They did the Resident Evil 5 trick where somebody busted out of here and tried to attack us.
I mean, at least in Resident Evil 4's case, it was an oven, so...
Yeah, it was an oven, and then in Resident Evil 5, it was a porta potty. You don't remember that?
You know, it's a little embarrassing. I did play Resident Evil 5 fairly recently in the company of a friend of mine, and I don't remember a dude busting out of the porta potty suddenly.
I think it was kind of an Easter egg.
Okay.
I have no idea what the rats are doing, but I haven't figured out yet that the rats are actually not that dangerous. They don't have any AoE attacks, and their base damage is very low. They just seem kind of like mooks. The Samurai Tortoises are the ones that you really want to take down first because they have AoEs, and the Poos also have the ability to make somebody sick, which is not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will admit, the one thing I'm finding entertaining in these fights is seeing exactly what combinations of letters Michael's basic attack.
It's actually the most interesting part of this. So, if I remember correctly, what I do here is... Oh no, one of these again.
I'm curious what would happen if theoretically you were to just drop Panda on top of him.
I should do that. C-Mode Wondershot, you need to play this game with me. I'm not super smart like you are.
Oh, I don't think I'd survive doing a playthrough of this myself. I am barely keeping it together, just providing commentary with you, my good friend Diacorn.
I have actually talked to at least one person who said that they couldn't get through the third episode because the game was that bad. I guess that would explain my YouTube numbers.
Well, I've certainly had that discussion with a friend of mine as well. He's saying, you know, I appreciate your efforts, but I just can't.
That sounds about right.
Alex!
Thanks for trying. And for the people who are sticking with us still, thank you more.
We do appreciate you.
Abe.
Shot!
For some reason, Michael seems to have a very high crit rate. I don't know why, but it seems like every attack I've been working on with Michael, he crits.
I'll admit, I haven't actually been paying too much attention to the numbers as they've gone up when he gets encouraged, but it'd be worth checking out what his luck's like.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely have to do that next episode. I don't know what determines who gets random additional XP, but it's enough that it actually seems to skew the party's level ups, such that, you know, one person will level up before everybody else. At this point, I'm kind of looking for something to snack on, because Alex doesn't have any PP anymore, and I kind of am, like, relying on Panda Barrier. So I'm just going to go up there and use the water fountain, because that's what I'm going to do.
Hey, all's fair in RPGs, man. Just do what you gotta do, and thank you very much for cutting it short for the sake of this episode.
This episode's long enough as it is.
Meanwhile, what are you gonna do about that, I wonder?
Well, I'm a dum-dum, so it takes me a little bit to figure out. And then I jump off here for some reason. I think I was just having issues with the controls, as per usual.
Well, it bears figuring out.
There's something strange about this rock, yeah, no shit. So, Bella...
Here's where I learned that Alex and I have another unfortunate commonality, and that we're both apparently bass players now.
You play bass?
Used to.
But can you blow up rocks?
Well, I never tried turning it up that high.
This does not allow me to get at the chest.
So then,
But you know what does?
I wonder.
Not base. I can't actually move off the tool until I actually deploy it. But Dolly can. So we got ourselves a top hat, which is neat. Rory needs a new hat. Oh, shut up, game.
Again, what some people have pointed out in this thread, and that I absolutely agree with, is that it's kind of a mistake to think of this game as taking place in 1999, because everything about sort of the characters' aesthetics and behavior and some of the jokes that are being made are absolutely meant to reference kind of current-day hipster culture. So the idea that this is all something that's more for the 90s is kind of laughable if you think about it.
Oh yeah, totally. I don't know why they made me blow up 8 of these. It just seems like kind of a waste of time. But then again, so is playing this game.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of got you there already. So I like how the save icon there is straight up over the pipe instead of the phone.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Well done.
I mean, I think it adds a potential humorous dimension to it in that you can say you're just yelling into the pipe as opposed to the phone for that one.
Oh, Rory has a signature move, the hair whip. Which we've learned to do. Oh, good. Let's get our hipster on.
That looks kind of gross coming from Al.
It looks like a tentacle of hair. They're really trying to make sure you know that you can tag chests remotely with Dolly.
Again, I sort of remember that from way back when, but the fact that it just straight up hasn't come up again before now, outside of that one bridge with the mouse, is just part of what's making it a little bit off-putting.
Well, it's just that, you know, we've done precious little dungeon crawling in this game since then. And I don't know that you could really even call that a dungeon. It was more like an interactive cutscene. It was about as interactive as a David Cage novel. Oh, sorry, Panda.
Panda with no patience for that nonsense. What I will say though is that...
Oh no, I missed that garbage can.
Well,
I'm sorry, what
are
you saying?
the chances that it actually contains something of import?
Watch it be the thing that allows me to advance the plot.
If so, you'll find it eventually.
The key to the super secret final boss.
But do we even want to fight one of those? Or is this actually a 100% playthrough and you've dragged me down to hell with you?
I hope it's not. If I can discover 100% of what's in this game, Axe Studios, y'all need to go back to the drawing board. Like, again.
I think we've established that to be the case already, but we'll see what comes of this now. Rory looks like his eye twitched terribly there for a second as he was recovering from the negative stun there. Hey.
I think he knew that I was going to make him protect Alex since he's got the lowest HP. Alex doesn't look too happy about either, to be honest with you. Oops, I missed.
Well, you got a chest out of it, though. And I kind of understand that that's supposed to be the mechanic, but just from the angles of it, it looks as though, under normal circumstances, Dolly would just sail right over that chest.
Well, yes, that's why I thought that I was in the right place, but maybe my depth perception's just really bad. Or maybe just the camera angle's bad, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and try out this Land Roll AX7 keytar with many different presets.
But I could see you contemplating for a moment there whether the boost to attack and health was
worth the -9 to luck.
Yeah, and considering we are now better understanding of what exactly luck is, there's a debate to be had there, I think.
Oh, totally. But as a point of fact, if you use the AX7, it gives you an extra hit on your combo.
Huh.
That's not actually advertised anywhere, but cool, I guess.
I mean...
And since Vella's kind of our carry right now...
Yeah, realistically speaking... Yab. I'm actually kind of flabbergasted that this game actually put in the effort to expand on one of its earlier mechanics.
Well done, game. Baby steps.
It's only been...
I thought I could slime Dolly, but I can't. And I can't put Panda there either.
It's been only, what, 4.5 hours at this point?
Yeah.
Panda's in the uh-oh gunk a whole bunch, so, you know, hopefully he's machine washable.
Also, pay attention to the spot where I put Panda before.
Huh? Yeah, that's a bug.
Just a bit.
Oh, but Dolly doesn't like it when you try to make him open them from the side.
He doesn't like it when I try to make him go over rocks.
Okay, because for a second it looked as though his sprite did actually contact the chest for a second, but that it was rather the fact that it was a side attack that was doing.
Yes, how dare I try to use Dolly to get at chests when, you know, the obstruction is the same color as the material.
Well, This game finds tremendous and myriad ways to disappoint.
Right in the manhole!
He attacked us with bitchin' strength. So we're gonna do a bitchin' dodge.
I am kind of curious as to what exactly those voice lines are, since I'm finding the recording quality a little bit questionable at this point, but...
There is actually one where the tortoises say go to shell. I haven't heard any other ones from them.
Yob. I swear, I'll find a new joke, but for this episode, that's the one I'm sticking to, so...
Okay. That was a crit for 4 damage.
Well, considering it was only on half the combo, that was fine.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Also, I don't know what's going on with the music right now. I thought it might have, like, tried to load into another song. But no, that's just what the music does.
I think we're just listening to more, glitchcore, I guess. And don't get me wrong, I like glitchcore when it's in an interesting soundtrack, but this soundtrack is interesting for a very bad reason.
Well, I think the song was interesting for very bad reasons, because it just sort of, you know, it just tried to double the tempo and didn't do anything about the other track.
Oh, and that graphical glitch is still there. Fantastic.
Yep, it's still there.
Man, I'm hoping at some point you end up pulling Panda out to use again, and that is just, and that the targeting reticle is just gone, because you've now left it in this dungeon for the rest of the game.
Actually, it's kind of interesting. I think I, at this point, was kind of going to see how long I could leave the graphical glitch, because it seems to be in the in-engine cutscenes as well.
Sure was.
So I'm gonna see how far I can take this whole no panda thing.
Well, I can see kind of a hallway of finality, or I guess not.
Nope, it just opens up into another big room.
Thanks for faking us out, I guess, game. Alright, so what's our order here?
Let's just try the green door first. I'm sure you figured out that the samurai tortoises are a pastiche of, you know, a certain shelled Japanese warrior.
Indeed.
Because they're a pastiche, they can't get the rights to those particular Renaissance painters, so they pick other ones, like Rembrandt. Well, Rembrandt's not even a Renaissance painter.
A little bit late to the party on that.
Yes, and that's what you'll find. This guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he was definitely not a Renaissance painter. He does, however, go down like a chump.
Michael!
We got a bit more of that percussive background track.
Yes, that completely appropriate background track.
I guess Michael got to show us his base attack bonus.
He did. His base attack bonus is actually really high if his damage numbers are anything to go by. I don't know what 3X class he would be. I don't think he would have full BAB.
Well, with the camera thing, I'm thinking some kind of distance-based. Let's go with like a crossbow rogue or something like that.
But crossbow rogues have 3/4 BAB.
So full BAB just means bow fighter, maybe?
Possibly that would do it.
I played a bow fighter in a 5th game fairly recently. It was actually great fun.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't played 5e.
5e's decent. It kind of strips down things a fair bit.
I love being an adolescent monstrosity tortoise.
Oh. Well, you know what? I think we don't love that, do we?
We get that you're making fun of the Ninja Turtles. It's okay. We also watched that show.
Was admittedly something that was also big in the 90s, so...
It was something. I think that could describe this game. It was something.
Yeah, we're coming up with many ways of damning this game with faint praise, are we not? Such as
Hey, there we did it.
fantastic. I saw it slow down and
No anchovies.
was very curious. Okay, yeah, no, that's the joke. Yeah, I can definitely see why Panda might want to come out to play for circumstances such as these, because this whole process of dodging the AoE attacks multiple times with each character in a round.
I'm getting pretty tired of doing this, to be honest with you. That's Panda is the one skill you need to speedrun this game.
I will give it this. You are getting very good at the mechanics, so my previous fears about that being the kind of way that the game makes the whole experience a bit more longevous for you, well-founded.
I hope not. I don't want this game to go on any longer than it has to.
Also, longevous.
Hey.
I'm not sure why I got that wrong.
Right in the manhole.
And the barrier!
Anyway. I got screwed up by the sudden and much appreciated appearance of
Go
Panda.
to shell.
And now I'm actually hearing his voice lines a bit more clearly, and that's
not something I wanted today. So we managed to dodge another AoE with Panda, and he didn't actually disappear.
Alex.
Oh, so you know what this RPG, this turn-based RPG, Bab, is missing?
What?
Ow.
It's missing a system to actually verify who's going at any given time, because
Oh yeah, that's mildly important, isn't it?
I'm thinking that when you're trying to play a game where it's turn-based and so you have all the time you need to strategize, being able to actually understand the flow of combat in order to enact those strategies is fairly important. So,
Well, I think what's supposed to have happened was that Alex is not always supposed to go first, but he's got 43 speed, so...
yeah, that's certainly one way of approaching it.
I don't think that was the approach the game developers were intending, but okay.
Well, there's something to be said about emergent gameplay, and the idea of the developers not always having the intended solution is kind of interesting, but this game really... It's the fact that every time there is a circumstance in which that comes up, it feels more like a mistake than something that could theoretically be seen as clever.
I should not be able to break your game in half at, like, 10th level by just pouring all my level ups into luck. That's not a thing that should happen. Panda Bear!
I will say this, you have any other examples of really entertaining mistakes RPGs like this made?
Turn-based RPGs?
Sure.
I remember that in Final Fantasy II, I started going to Finn, like, as soon as I got the White Mage, and I was just able to get, like, in-game equipment by using him to level, because he was a high-level mage.
Excellent.
I mean, yeah, I got one shot, but, you know, I had a guy with
Alex.
Resurrect, and so long as he didn't get one shot, I was good.
Well done.
I think there was also a bunch of stuff in World Ends With You about that, where you can just get, like, certain pins and certain combos way earlier than you need to, and some just have, like, stupid high efficiency.
True, but at least that was part of the fact that that game had some fairly interesting ways of actually grinding for pins, or not grinding, as it were.
Oh yeah, that is actually very true.
The fact that it actually kind of rewarded that exploration is something that I think lent it towards not exactly being a mistake, but being, you know, just something exploitable.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Rory.
And now he's gone.
I must go. My people need me. But he does show back up when I shift the camera again, and he's in the right place. I don't think that was intentional.
Again, when this game makes mistakes, it's very clear that they're mistakes.
God, that was a great bug.
Yep.
I'm going to screenshot that for the thread like I did with Vela last episode.
Yeah, meanwhile, you should also consider screenshotting the stats if you just want to get through that really quickly.
Oh yeah, no, I should totally do that.
But what I was also going to mention was in terms of things that are the actual mistakes that I've seen in games, did you ever play Magi Nation for the Game Boy Color?
No, I didn't.
It was pretty interesting. It was a card-based battling game, essentially, so it was, for the most part, an RPG where you went around and fought monsters to collect their cards so that you could then deploy them yourself.
Oh,
Sort
I
of
see.
Trying to be one of those Pokemon equivalents that was fairly popular around the time.
Yeah, it sounds right.
But it was kind of interesting in terms of the fact that it had this really kind of, 90s cartoon, American cartoon aesthetic specifically, and the enemies were kind of horrific looking in some cases. And one of the things that I remember very distinctly finding early on is that one of the very first shops in the game sells you this pretty useful item that boosts your base stats for a battle. But what I realized was that you also find that item in treasure chests and sell it to the store for more than the store sells back to you.
Oh yeah, like the Temmie exploit in Undertale.
Yeah, so the idea is that you can just pick up, however many of those items from the store you can afford and then sell them back to the store for about like a 75% profit. And then just keep doing that, and that's within the first hour of the game. It's in the very first store you can actually go to that you can do this.
You see, when it happens in Undertale, that's to make a point about the character. But when it happens here, yeah, don't do that, games.
Well, we'll see if it happens here, but I will say that I was entertained enough by that discovery that I actually sent it into Nintendo Power, and they did publish it.
Oh, well done. You were one of those kids who wrote to Nintendo Power.
I sure was. Make no mistake about it.
We do have to go through the mine dungeon again, because I'm seeing ways of us recovering our health, and there's a save point, so I'm figuring about now that there's a boss coming up. I'm sure you figured out the one, because you watched the same Crow Feathers video I did.
Oh, Crow. Thanks for introducing us to something we must now look forward to. Though I will admit, again, in trying to dedicate myself wholly to this blind playthrough, I saw maybe a minute of that video and then just stopped because I went, okay, clearly I don't have the context for this, for any of what's happening here. So...
You still don't have the context for it.
I'm sure that I don't.
Mode Wondershot, I don't think you're prepared.
We'll see what comes of it. That's all I'm gonna say. And, as a credit to you, my friend, for inviting me on this twisted journey and for, getting me this moment in the internet limelight, however little of it there may be, I'm going to actually try and pay attention to that dialogue to see if I can discover anything interesting or worthy of useful analysis or commentary.
I've seen the next episode because I've already recorded it, and no, you're not going to.
Well, damn.
There's a bunch of talk, just... It doesn't really... Well, it's about at the level of the rest of the dialogue in this game, so...
So, I guess in the meantime, can we talk about the music that's in the mine dungeon?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with this music. I heard a couple random samples from it.
What I will tell you is that it's very clearly leitmotif for the entire game, because the whistling part is the through line for the main melody that's in Frankton's theme. It's in that one theme that that I thought was Michael's theme when he was talking to Alex at the computer, and now it's fairly consistently here. So
yeah, that makes sense.
I'll see if in researching this game's soundtrack I can get any kind of interesting insights into the melody behind this, but
Mode Wondershot, don't hurt yourself.
you know, it's one of those cases where I'm certainly doing my best to go above and beyond in my curiosity, let's say.
We're not satisfied until you're not satisfied, Thread.
If anything interesting comes of this search, the thread will be the first to know.
Yes, please post all of your discoveries in the thread. Yeah, let's go ahead and save again. I have again, a sneaking suspicion that there's a boss fight behind that door.
I also suspect that signboard is going to tell us something patently useless, but what can I say? We've got a lot to look forward to next time, guys.
Yes, it'll be something.